Lecture number 6. Theme: Tropes and Stylistic Devices, Their Classifications and Functions. Hello, students, and welcome to Lecture 6. Today, we delve into one of the most fascinating and expressive aspects of language: tropes and stylistic devices. These tools not only add color and emotional depth to speech and writing, but also shape the reader's perception of meaning and mood. We'll explore their classifications, functions, and how they interact with different layers of meaning. Let's begin by revisiting a foundational idea in stylistics. Every word in context can acquire new shades of meaning. These are known as contextual meanings, and they emerge from the interplay between the dictionary definition and the specific situation of use. In this context, meaning becomes dynamic and fluid, reflecting a speaker's or writer's intent. 1. Lexical meaning versus grammatical meaning. Lexical meaning connects a word to a concrete concept or idea, real or imaginary. For example, the word rose refers to a flower. Grammatical meaning, on the other hand, refers to a word's role in sentence structure, such as tense, number, or case. In stylistics, we distinguish between logical or referential, emotive, and nominal meanings. Logical meaning points directly to an object or idea. Emotive meaning conveys emotion. Nominal meaning associates a word with a name or identity. 2. Types and classifications of stylistic devices. According to I.R. Galperin, stylistic devices involving lexical meaning can be grouped into 4 main categories. I. Interaction of different types of lexical meaning. 1. Metaphor, based on similarity, e.g., time is a thief. 2. Metonymy, based on association, e.g., the pen is mightier than the sword. 3. Irony, based on opposition, e.g., what lovely weather during a storm. 2. Interaction of primary and derivative logical meanings. 1. Zeugma, a single word applies to multiple parts of a sentence, e.g., she broke his car and his heart. 2. Pun, a play on words with multiple meanings, e.g., time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. 3. Interaction of logical and emotive meanings. 1. Epithet, emotionally charged descriptive word, e.g., a heartless storm. 2. Oxymoron, juxtaposition of contradictory terms, e.g., deafening silence. IV. Interaction of logical and nominal meanings. 1. Antonomasia, substituting a descriptive phrase or title for a proper name, e.g., a real Romeo. 3. Other stylistic devices. Hyperbole. This is intentional exaggeration for emphasis or emotional effect. Example, I've told you a million times. Simile, a direct comparison using like or as, e.g., as brave as a lion. Periphrasis, a roundabout way of describing something. Instead of saying the sun, one might say the celestial body that gives us light. Colloquial coinages. Informal, spontaneous word creations often tied to pop culture, e.g., hangry, hungry, plus angry. 4. Function of tropes in discourse. Tropes serve multiple communicative and aesthetic functions: to intensify emotion, epithet, hyperbole; to create imagery, metaphor, simile; to emphasize contrast or contradiction, irony, oxymoron; to add humor, pun, zeugma; to establish tone, formality versus informality. 5. Practical use in literature and speech. Writers like Shakespeare and modern authors like Margaret Atwood employ stylistic devices masterfully. Consider this line from Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale: "Ignoring isn't the same as ignorance, you have to work at it." This line plays with irony, nominal meaning, and layered metaphor to critique social denial. 6. Analytical insight. When analyzing a text, ask, what stylistic device is used here? What 2 meanings are interacting? What emotional or rhetorical effect does it produce? Peculiar use of set expressions. Among lexical stylistic devices, special attention should be paid to the expressive potential of set expressions, clichés, proverbs, aphorisms, and quotations. Their power lies not in novelty, but in familiarity, cultural resonance, and the potential for ironic or emphatic usage. Clichés are fixed phrases that have lost their freshness due to overuse. Yet in stylistics, clichés can be repurposed to signal formality, mock seriousness, or to satirize language itself. For example, at the end of the day, the bottom line is, in the blink of an eye. Used intentionally, they may serve as stylistic tools to create a predictable, bureaucratic, or even comically rigid tone. Proverbs and sayings are traditional expressions that convey collective wisdom. They often represent shared cultural or moral values and can lend authority, irony, or emotional charge to speech or writing. Examples: don't count your chickens before they hatch. Actions speak louder than words. Aphorisms differ from proverbs in that they usually have an identifiable author and are often philosophical or reflective in tone. They can be used to reinforce an argument or to establish a high intellectual or rhetorical level in the narrative. Examples: man is the measure of all things. Protagoras. I think, therefore I am. Descartes. Quotations, finally, may serve various purposes, from invoking cultural authority to generating irony through contrast with the surrounding context. For instance, quoting Shakespeare in a sarcastic situation can create tension between the original solemn tone and the new humorous one. In all cases, these expressions function stylistically by either reinforcing meaning, playing on cultural memory, or creating layered interpretations when used ironically or unexpectedly. IV. Additional devices: allusion, antithesis, and paradox. Beyond the commonly classified tropes and devices, there are several additional tools frequently used in literature and rhetorical texts. Allusion is an indirect reference to a known person, event, myth, text, or cultural phenomenon. It assumes that the reader or listener will recognize the reference, thereby adding depth or irony. Example: he met his Waterloo. Refers to Napoleon's defeat, suggesting someone's downfall or decisive failure. Antithesis is a device that juxtaposes contrasting ideas to highlight their opposition. It's often used in parallel structures for rhythmic and rhetorical effect. Examples: it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Dickens. To err is human, to forgive, divine. Pope. Paradox is a statement that appears logically contradictory, but on closer inspection reveals a deeper or ironic truth. Examples: war is peace. The more you learn, the less you know. Both oxymoron and paradox serve to challenge the reader's expectations, encouraging deeper reflection and engaging interpretive thought.